active period over the next few days for southern parts of the country. Beginning as early as tonight, there's going to be a severe thunderstorm threat, a low severe thunderstorm threat from northeastern Texas all the way into northern parts of Mississippi. This yellow shaded region right here, pretty much along that I-20 corridor, this is where there's that opportunity for a few severe storms tonight into early Friday morning. We're talking about the possibility of some large hail as well as some gusty winds. Hail size probably going to be around quarter, and then the winds may be gusting up to 60 miles per hour. But again, the severe threat is going to be throughout the overnight hours into early Friday morning, and then it slightly shifts east as we move into Friday. You can see that that severe thunderstorm threat, the yellow shaded area, starts to work its way into Alabama as well as south central parts of Tennessee. So we got to keep a close eye on this. Again, the main hazards are going to be the large hail, maybe up to quarter size, and some gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour. Fortunately, the tornado threat looking low for tonight and Friday. That could change, though, over the weekend. We'll have details on that here in just a few seconds. Future radar shows the showers and storms starting to ignite over the Arklatex region later on this evening. And watch what happens along this boundary. We're going to see the activity really start to develop along this stationary front as we head into the overnight hours into Friday morning. These red and orange colors give you an idea that some of the rain going to be heavy at times, and some of those storms also going to be on the strong side. That's why we could see some isolated severe storms throughout the overnight hours. And if you live anywhere along that I-20 corridor, you want to make sure you have the umbrella tomorrow morning, as we're going to see that rain continue into the afternoon hours. But the good news is, fingers crossed, we're going to start to see a downward trend later in the day on Friday. Still some isolated showers and storms out there, but the coverage and intensity is going to lessen throughout the day on Friday. But we'll start to notice another uptick as we move into the weekend. We'll start to see this boundary start to light up more of that shower activity as an upper level disturbance approaches. You can kind of see that right here, extending from northeastern Texas all the way into Arkansas as well as northern parts of Mississippi. This second band looks like it's going to shift a little bit farther north of I-20, kind of between that I-40 and I-20 corridor as we move into Saturday afternoon. And heavy rain is definitely going to be one of the biggest risks with all of these storms as we move over the next several days. Tonight into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's when we're going to see the heaviest rain pretty much along this I-40, I-20 corridor. Several inches of rain possible, half a foot. A good likelihood from eastern parts of Texas, east of the I-35 corridor, all the way into the mid-south. We're talking about southern parts of Arkansas, northern parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, even Georgia, all getting in on this activity. It's even going to extend up into parts of Kentucky as well. So a really big swath of some of the heavy rain over the next few days. This is going to lead to some flash flooding threats. So if you live in a low-lying area that is flood-prone, you want to make sure you go ahead and prepare for this heavy rain. Make sure that you are alert. And if you come across a roadway that's covered in water, make sure you never try to cross it. It just isn't worth it. It only takes a little bit of water to move that vehicle off the roadway. So again, just make sure that you prepare for this and take all your proper precautionary for the flood issues that the precautions for the flood issues that we may see as we move throughout the next several days. Again, that's going to be kind of the biggest hazard, even though we do have that severe threat tonight as well as Friday. It's going to continue into Saturday. This is actually when I think there could be some more severe storms in terms of these storms being a little more intense, and maybe an isolated tornado threat that starts to develop on Saturday as a warm front sets up and starts to lift toward the north. Conditional threat right now, still some questions. Got to keep an eye on this, but it does look like there could be some storms, especially within the red shaded area. And this is where some isolated severe storms are possible as we move into Saturday and Saturday afternoon as this front starts to lift north toward the I-20 corridor. Again, got to keep a really close eye on this from central parts of Texas all the way into the Arklatex, possibly extending into parts of the Mid-South. And then that severe threat continues on Sunday. This looking more like a gusty wind and large hail threat as a cold front actually starts to race in from the north. That's going to create an uptick in the storm chances again from eastern parts of Texas all the way into parts of the Mid-South, maybe even into parts of the Southeast on Sunday. So a really active period over the next several days. And we're not only dealing with the showers and thunderstorms across the south and the east, also dealing with a big weather system moving into the Pacific and inland northwest, extending down into the northern Rockies. You can see several inches of snow, over a foot of snow possible, especially for northern parts of the Rockies, extending into your Cascades and Olympics. Could see some heavy snow there. Good news for the ski resorts, but we're talking about some pretty nasty snow, so we could see the threat for some avalanches across parts of the Pacific Northwest and inland Northwest. So just keep that in mind if you got to drive through any of the passes. Chains likely going to be required. Also, if you're going to be skiing, just keep that in mind. You want to be safe with this heavy wet snow that is going to fall across parts of the Pacific Northwest. Already beginning tonight, you can see that radar really starts to light up, especially those Cascades, seeing some really heavy snow on the western slopes, and it does kind of extend into the inland Northwest as well, and that's going to continue throughout the overnight hours into Friday morning. You just see that band continuing to dump some of that heavy snow. Could actually be a little bit of lowland snow for parts of Washington, so got to keep a close eye on that. I think it'll stay outside of Seattle, but as you work your way toward Olympia, Bremerton, could actually see that snow level fall down to those cities, so could see a little bit of lowland snow, and that's going to continue on Friday, that lowland snow trying to actually sneak down into parts of Oregon as well. So just to the west of I-5 could actually start to get in on some snow, so we'll have to keep a close eye on Portland, maybe even as you work your way down the I-5 corridor into northern parts of California, could get in on a little bit of that lowland snow. And of course, the mountains still racking up those heavy snow totals as we head throughout the overnight hours Friday, and that's going to continue into Saturday before it does start to lighten up as we move into latter parts of Saturday. But again, looking like it's going to be an active period over the next several days, not only for the southeast with the severe storms, but over the Pacific Northwest and inland Northwest with heavy snow.